Well, I appreciate your being patient with that primer, but we needed that primer to basically move forward for the rest of the course. So we will now move on to why is the annual budgeting process broken? If you remember at the beginning of the course where I described the 8 forces and pressures that have caused interest in performance management, since these methods have been around for decades and arguably before computers, the first one was the frustration of executives to successfully implement strategy. The sixth one that I highlighted there was that the budget is typically a fiscal exercise done by the accountants that's typically disconnected from the executive team strategy, and it's not based on future driver volumes. We'll go much deeper into this now. Imagine you're taking this quiz, okay? Our budgeting exercise is invasive and time-consuming with few benefits. It takes 14 months from start to end. Well, maybe 6 months from start to end. It requires 2 or more executive tweaks at the end after you've gone to all the trouble to give that first round to the executives. They don't like the number. They send it back down, revise it. It's obsolete in a couple of months anyway due to events and reorganizations. It starves departments with truly valid needs. They had needs last year, and you're not giving them enough more money this year to help them out. It caves into the loudest voice and political muscle of veteran sandbaggers. That's the next one. Veterans who know how to sandbag and pad that budget. It also incorporates last year's inefficiencies into this year's budget. But it's the last one that bothers me the most. When managers are 2 or 3 or 4 months on a glide path from the end of the year and they have not spent all of their budget, what do they start doing? They start spending needlessly, foolishly. Why do they do that? It's because they know that next year's budget is going to basically be using a baseline of the end of this year and be incremented up from that. We call it use it or lose it spending. I often refer to it as spreadsheet budgeting, which I'll show you in the next slide. Here's the spreadsheet budgeting. It's incremental. Notice the projection in column B for the end of the year. I've got this fictitious cost center, wages 400,000, supplies 50, and so forth. And what the manager will do when they do their budget is, column B times 1.05 or maybe a 5% increase in inflation or what have you, and copy down. I hope some of you are chuckling and laughing because this is foolish. What if this department has a substantial increase in demand load next year? They're going to be understaffed. Or what if they're a department such as, let's say, bank tellers, where more and more bank customers are doing internet banking? They're going to be overstaffed. It's volume insensitive. And this really brings up the whole point of using Excel spreadsheets to create a budget. That's how many organizations do it. The accounting department distributes these Excel spreadsheets to all the line managers. They then fill in excruciating detail line item by line item of accounts, January to December, 12 months. They put it all together. Then some poor soul in the accounting budgeting department has to consolidate all of them. They get a big consolidated income statement and balance sheet. They give it to the executives. They don't like that number, send it back down. People start having to adjust, lower some of their costs or expenses, consolidate it back, give it to executives. Still not good enough. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You almost want the executives to say, what number did you want in the first place? But that's not what we would want to have, because we want the executives to basically give what they aspire. We want reality of what we think can happen. And then we'll know what the gap is between the reality of what we're projecting and the gap. And then that will lead to a necessary other improvement programs to close that gap.